Okay, I'd like to take another quick minute and show you one of our other nice attachments that goes with the WonderMix. It's a grain and seed mill. Now this little mill looks kind of deceiving. It's actually very well made. It's got stainless steel head burrs in it. It does a great job on, especially on certain things. It's kind of a specialty mill. If you're doing a lot of whole wheat, for instance, you're probably not going to be happy with this mill because it's fairly slow and it doesn't grind quite as fine as some of your electric mills. And we've solved that problem a long time ago with our Wonder Mill, and many of you are aware of that. And it'll grind 90 to 100 pounds an hour, so it's very fast and very clean and makes an excellent flour. One of the problems with our mill, to be honest with you, is it can't grind some of the things this little guy can grind. So I'm going to show you why you would want one of these in your home. First I want to quickly show you. It's very simple again, very easy to use. There's a hopper that pulls off the top. It's dishwasher safe. You can throw it in the dishwasher. Cleanup is easy. They've made it simple to use and clean up. If you're just doing flour, whole wheat flour or something like that doesn't have any oils in it, then you probably don't need to go through this every time. But to clean it up, there's just a simple ring on the outside that holds everything together. You unscrew that. Then you have, this is what we call our adjustment mechanism that gives us finer or coarser flour, and sometimes there will be a little bit of grain stuck inside that. They've made this very simple to do. There's the grinding burrs. You can set that aside, and you can take all these things. There's the grinding head. You can take all these things and take them to the sink and wash them. There's the auger that feeds the grains into the head. So it's very simple. All these parts can be washed in your soapy water or actually in your dishwasher, but probably just a dish pan full of soapy water would be the easiest. To put it back together, they've made it simple. Instead of being round, there's a flat spot on each side of the head, and it only fits in one way. And then you drop your burr head into there. You reset your, and you'll notice there's a little notch here at the bottom. You put this in, and the notch fits right there. So it's all together. You know you've got it together correctly, and then you just simply secure it by putting this ring back on, and you're back in business. Now on the front of the mill, on the very top, when you're looking down at it, there's a coarse and a fine, and it simply is bigger or smaller. So if you're wanting to do a fine flour, you're going to want to turn it to the very coarsest setting. If you wanted to do a cracked grain, maybe you have a recipe that calls for some cracked wheat to put into your bread. Then you can crack it, and I'll show you that real quickly. Okay, again, it's very simple to hook up. And I'm going to start with some hard white wheat. You simply twist it onto the transmission, and that's locked into place. Put your hopper in place. And like I said, we'll start with the most common thing that people use mills for, and that is just wheat. We're going to put this on the 3rd speed, and a bowl works great. I like this bowl because it has a little bit of a lip, and it comes right underneath it. And then we are going to turn this. First I'll show you some cracked grains. I'm going to open this up just to give you an idea, show you how quickly it can do some cracked grains, and you can crack any kind of grains. If you just need to expose the grain and you want to get some of the flavor out of it, you need to crack it, and this will work fantastic. So I'm going to turn it on to the 3rd speed. Now what we have there, instead of a flour, I know you can't see this that great, but instead of a flour, we have a really nice cracked grain. It's probably about each piece is cracked into 10 or more pieces, so it's excellent. You can put that in bread, soak it a little bit, put it in your bread, and it'd make a really nice cracked grain in that. I'll show you how quickly and easy it is to go from that to doing the fine. So I'm going to turn this down. It's easier to adjust this as it's turned on. So I'm going to turn it back on for a minute, and then I'll add a little bit more grain and turn it down and show you how fine it can get. That's the finest setting. Let's add a little bit more grain. Turn this off, and I've got some of this in my hand. That's the flour, And it's a flour that you could make bread out of. It's not quite as fine as some of the electric mills do. Our Wonder Mill will do it our electric Wonder Mill will do it quite a bit finer, but it does a good job. You could actually run this through a second time if you wanted to make it very fine. So if you're doing large batches of whole wheat, this might not be the mill that you are going to want to get, but don't get discouraged, because I'm going to show you some really fun things that it can do with other grains that are real popular these days. Some things, again, like I said, that our electric Wonder Mill can't do. So let's move on to one of those. Okay, I want to take another minute here to show you one of the really great things about this mill. Like I said, doing wheat and some of the dry grains, it does a decent job. It's slow, but this little mill is a workhorse when it comes to really helping you on some of these things. And what I'm going to show you are 3 grains, and there's many more, but 3 grains that have become very, very popular over the last few years. Flax, 100% whole flax is recommended by heart specialists, nutritionists, and it's unbelievably high in nutrition and fatty acids and omega-3s. That's one of them. Another one that's become very popular is Chia. Some people call it the runner's grain because it absorbs moisture so well, and it is one of the few grains that really does not have to be ground in order to get the nutrition out of it. So you don't technically have to grind this, but if you want to make it into a flour, it is a very little small seeds, and if you want a chia flour or you want to mix it in with some other nutritional things, then you do want to be able to grind it. And a lot of mills on the market, including our big Wonder Mill, our powerful Wonder Mill, because of these teeny little seeds, it has a hard time with it. So I'm going to show you how great this little machine does on it. Another one that's become very, very popular is the hemp seeds. Hemp is even higher in omega oils and the omega-3s and 6s than flax is, and it has some things that flax doesn't have. It tastes unbelievably good. It has a very, really rich, nutty flavor, and really adds, if you want to sprinkle some ground hemp flour or ground hemp seeds onto a salad or anything, it tastes great and gives you great nutrition. Now, those three seeds do tend to pose a problem for lots of the mills, but that's the advantage of having this seed and grain mill, is you can process those. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly run through some flax and then some chia seeds and then some hemp, and we'll just kind of let it run, and I'll show you. I'll turn it off for just a minute and show you how easily it is to work. Now, any of these oily seeds, the one thing you want to be aware of is when you grind an oily seed, especially, this is for any seed, but anytime you grind these oily seeds, because of the oils tend to break down faster than anything, and that's what actually ruins most of your grains, makes them smell stale, makes them taste bad. So the advantage again is you're going to get the taste, you're going to get the good nutrition, and the ability to do it. So when you do grind flax or hemp or some of these oilier seeds, make sure after you're done, if you have leftovers, to put them in the refrigerator so that they'll last longer. So let's get this started. I've got it on a not quite fine setting, but kind of just slightly past fine, and we'll adjust it as we need. You can adjust this anytime during the milling process, and it's very easy to do. So I'm going to turn it on speed 3, and we'll try some flax first of all. I'm going to loosen this up and even make it a little bit coarser on this side so you can see. Okay, so on this I've ground actually 3 different coarsenesses. I've got the flax meal, what I'd call over here, which is the fine powder. Excellent. Really, that's probably what you're going to want to sprinkle on your yogurt and things like that, or anything that you want to add your flax to. Then I've got some kind of half-cut seeds, and actually I turned it up coarse enough where the seeds actually went past through without even grinding. So you have a great variation, great variety of things you can do. Let me just empty this bowl and we'll try some chia. Okay, chia is probably the smallest of the 3 seeds, and I'm just going to turn this back, because if you do chia through here on almost any kind of a coarse setting, it's going to, I put it to fine and just turned it back a couple of dials, it'll just run right through because these seeds are teeny. Okay. I'm going to dial this back to the fine. I did the same thing at the end. I just opened it up and let the grain flow through. But on this side over here, you have this very fine, almost looks like pepper. It's a very fine, soft, oily flour, and it would make a great addition to anything you were trying to get that nutritional value into. So it will handle the chia seeds without any problem. And other small seeds, it's excellent. Let's just try the hemp and then we'll be done. Like I said, the hemp is one of my favorite things. I just like to eat it. It just tastes delicious. But we'll try a little bit of hemp and show you how it can do. Again, I'm going to turn this down to the fine and then back it off a few, and we'll experiment. And you can dial that to anything you like while you're grinding. Hey, there you go. That is smooth and fine, and you can even see if I push it into my hand, it'll actually pack together. It's so fine. And that makes a very nice, light, fluffy hemp flour. Again, you could add that to bread. You wouldn't even know it was in your bread if you wanted to add some higher nutrition to anything you're making. It's an excellent way to do it. The seed and grain mill is a fantastic little attachment that's often overlooked because we tend to associate it with grinding just our flours, our wheat, things like that. And it is because it's slower on those things. Sometimes we think that it's going to be not a great little mill, but it is. It's fantastic. It's easy cleanup, and it gives you the opportunity to do some of the newer grains that we're hearing about in the market, the ancient grains, some of the little grains and seeds. I'd recommend it highly, and I think you'll find that it'll be a great accessory in your home. As you can see, another thing that you can grind in the mill that many people really love is fresh ground coffee. And I'm just going to demonstrate that really quickly. You can adjust it if you like a coarser grind or a very fine grind. I've got it set on a fine grind. We've been grinding some, but I'll just show you how that works. You can add in the amount that you want of any fresh cup of coffee. Put the beans in and turn it on to the high speed. And you'll get, that's a very fine coffee. If you want coarser, again, you can adjust it to the coarse, and it does a great job. You don't have to go buy coffee that's been in a can or in a bag forever. You can get fresh coffee beans, and most of the stores today are catering to that. So if you want to if you're a coffee drinker and you want fresh coffee, this mill will do a great job of it.